Hello there, and happy Friday. As promised, I have a new report that I want to make available today. So, on the last episode of this shit show, basically, I said I couldn't wait to see what Team Frosh had to say about standing and their performance in Judge Clavins's theater. Courtroom. Well, sure enough, so I told you I had mentioned I filed something and I was just waiting to see what they were going to say, and well, I have a response. So let's see. Here we go. Let's see. All right. So Brian Frosh and Mary Chalowski and Colby Schmidt, well, all people in the Attorney General's office, representing Clerk Wayne Roby. Here's what they had to say about a very lengthy, very extensive, I really put my foot in the motion to reconsider, included an audio tape in there and everything, spent money on this and everything, and then they just, well, here's their response. I hope it's not doing it backwards. It looks backwards to me. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing. Wow. You just have nothing to say, huh? Okay. Well, let me switch gears just for a second. I've been watching the gun task force trial with great interest. I mean, wow, these guys, these police officers out of Baltimore City, they're doing some, it's The Wire on steroids, okay? What they're doing. If anybody who's watched The Wire, who's a big fan of the show. Now, who in their right mind really believes that with this gun task force trial that these officers just acted alone with no one's knowledge, you would think that there's just some solitary unit sitting someplace way off in Never Land in Siberia operating, and then no one's watching them, no one has any clue as to what they're doing, and racking up all this. I mean, these guys, some of them were making more money in overtime than they were in their original salary. I mean, time card abuses, this and that, but really stealing from people? All this stuff, okay. The DOJ attorney in that case, I don't even know who it is, and frankly, it's DOJ, so I'd rather just leave names off of it, but they busted their ass apparently to say, when this trial started, to make sure that they say, oh, the system is not on trial here. We just want you to know that, please. This is just the work of some rogue individual police officers that they're bad. And look, are they bad? Yes. Did they do bad, just horrible things? Yes, they did. Now, do I think for a second that there were some higher-ups that didn't know that this was going on and sat back and did nothing? Yes, that's me. So to say that the system isn't on trial, well, there's an exhibit that's missing that I wanted to, I found it in the courthouse down in the federal courthouse. Yeah, exhibit to that statement. Yeah, ridiculous. That's just right. Come on, the system's not on trial. Come on. But I'll tell you what, it sounds familiar in lots of ways. So I heard Jane Miller, or I've seen her on WBAL on Twitter, basically talking about, and I think that was this morning, her saying that there were several people, that this is not news to the community, that lots of people have been filing complaints and having things to say about the Baltimore, the police and so forth, and that their complaints have been ignored. And that sounds familiar too. I have been all over Twitter telling people that, yeah, someone should really be digging into it and looking into. There's no way that this is the work of some rogue individual agents, officers doing, they were doing stuff, but it's not just them. Come on, the system is on trial. So just stop with all that. That's some bullshit. All right, well, true to form, and like I always say I will, I have a Star Wars reference that I'd like to bring out at this time before I go any further. And so, Revenge of the Sith. This is from Revenge of the Sith. Anakin's not in here. Obi-Wan Kenobi is in here, though, and there's a General Grievous. For anybody Star Wars fans, he's in the dark. It's the dark side. Obi-Wan, he's a Jedi. Everything. Well, sadly, this part doesn't have anything to do with you, Brian, because I don't think you're General Grievous. I don't really know who Grievous is. Grievous may be, I don't really know who Grievous is. I'm not even going to speculate, but here, watch this little part here. I think I've gotten rid of screen glare, so we shouldn't have that. But let's see. Hopefully, let's see. Well, I'll just push play.
Hello there.
You see that? I love that part. I have been waiting to play that. I knew that was the part that I was going to drop for this part that I'm going to say here. He just dropped in on them. Well, what they were doing was caucusing, really. You know, they're sitting there making these evil plans about what they're going to do and so forth. And he's listening from the rafters. He just kind of stumbled upon this. It was quite by accident. He wasn't looking for it. He was kind of looking for them, but he didn't know that they were down there talking and so forth, and figured, well, this is the time to drop in. Well, speaking of dropping in on conversations, so, all right. Judge Clavins, I did promise you. So, as I said in one of the last videos, Mary Chilowski from the Attorney General's office, I had been waiting for her to what she was going to do. She had filed this stuff. I filed a complaint against her with the Attorney Grievance Commission for what's called frivolous filing, everything. Well, her and Brian now, let's get it right. And I walk into the hearing on December 29th, and Mary is, oh wait, I have a visual for that, wait, here we can go with the same one. Nothing. She had nothing to say. Except, well, that's not entirely true that she didn't have anything to say. You see, she just didn't have anything to say there during the hearing, and I know that that was because of the complaint, you know, that I had filed against her, and I guess that she figured to herself, I better not, you know, I'm not going to say anything else, you know, and so she didn't. But her written words were used by Colby, everything. He kind of piggybacked off of what she had already written. She was there, everything. She didn't have anything to say. But then, after Judge Clavins and his great, you know, performance happened, you know, all of his, you know, stuff that he did, his magic that he did, well, something happened. Then afterwards, I saw, before I left the courtroom, I certainly saw Judge Clavins and heard him say, excuse me, he basically said, hi, Ms. Chilowski, can I see you up here for a minute? Now this is, and I immediately was thinking, whoa, I mean, does he want us all to come up there, or just, so I kind of delayed for just a second, because I thought, well, I mean, well, he's calling her, but she didn't say anything. I mean, she didn't, nothing. I mean, boo. She didn't even say boo, really. So I wondered what was going on and how that could even be possible, and then I just figured, well, you know, because he didn't call Colby up there, he just called Mary. So I thought at first it was just some administrative, you know, whatever. You know, it seemed weird to me and irregular, very irregular. But, well, I heard a tape. I heard the tape, because as it turns out, when you're sitting there in the courtroom, no matter where you are in the courtroom in Anne Arundel County, there's a sign up. And it tells you right there at the table, even though the judge may or may not even be there, it says, and I'm going to post a picture of the sign, because I took one, of a picture of it, and I'll post on the website when I'm finished with all this. And it basically lets everybody know that you're being recorded. Even when there's not a proceeding going on, you're still being recorded. So take care, you know, be careful, take care if you don't want to be recorded. Basically, you need to just be out of that courtroom if you don't want to be recorded. Well, it turns out, Mary and Glenn, well, your conversation was recorded. Wow, yeah. And what a conversation that was, I tell you. So here, I want you to hear, let's see. Let me take it off of here so that you can hear. I'm not going to play the whole thing because, well, I'm going to be very careful about this for obvious reasons. Some reasons that are going to become more obvious. Just want to play this first so you can hear that it's them. Did you hear that? She said, "Hi, how are you?" And then she asked about, "How's everybody?" Well, Mary, it goes on, so I'm not going to play all of it for purposes of this tape. But let me get my reference of where in the recording that I wanted to play for you, because, well, I don't know. I said I don't really think that this is appropriate, but well, I mean, I heard things about, I know their kids now. I know the ages of their kids. I know what each one is doing. I know one is in theater. I know another one is in Miami. I think it's Miami, somewhere in Florida. I know that someone has something to do with the very Trumpian or anti-Trumpian or something. I know about a 4 a.m. phone call. I mean, wow, I feel like I actually know you guys, like, better, you know, much better than I did before. But listen to this. Judge Clavins makes a reference about, well, his wife. His wife, as it turns out, works for the works for the state's attorney's office down in Baltimore City. You know, the very people that are kind of in the middle of all of this stuff concerning, well, the Baltimore police, and then there's issues of, you know, complaints go to them, and just all this stuff regarding, and everybody remembers from, you know, from Freddie Gray and trying to charge the officers and this, that, and the other, and then what happened, you know, all of that stuff. Okay. But listen to what Judge Clavins has to say about complaints that he's talking about. I'm just going to play it for you so you can hear what he says that his wife does there. Works for Marilyn Mosby's office now. I want you to listen to this. Did you hear that? I don't know if you heard that. And you know what? Anybody that wants to hear this, please just contact me and I'm happy to give you the entire MP4. Judge Clavins was on record saying that his wife, that in her capacity working for the state's attorney's office for Baltimore City, hold on, wait for it, his wife takes out the trash, takes out the garbage was the exact phrase. Garbage, wow. That's how we're characterizing? That's how a judge characterizes citizen complaints, huh? When citizens have something to say about things down in Baltimore City. Wow. Now, I have no idea whether his wife really feels that way, whether she used the word garbage or trash, or whether, Glenn, this is just your characterization of her job after sitting there listening to, you know, for her talking at the dinner table for what it is that she does. I don't know which one it is, but that's troubling that you as an officer of the court would actually even refer to it that way. It's troubling that you would sit and talk to the assistant attorney general, Chilowski, up at the bench, caucusing with her privately, everything, sitting there characterizing complaints, which is, well, that's the very essence of what my thing is on the surface, and in depth, too. It's a complaint that I have against a clerk about what it is that he did not do and what it is that I'm trying to get him to do. Wow, you guys think of things as garbage, huh? Because Mary, she just didn't skip a beat. She didn't. She just kept on talking like, oh, okay, that's nice. Wow, right at the bench. Right sitting there, right for it to be recorded. One only has to wonder. I mean, if this is the way that things are handled when citizens of Maryland have something that they want to report and have something to say about their public officials, about their elected officials, and Glenn, you're an elected official. Brian Frosch, you're an elected official. And then you're in control of an office of people like Mary Chilowski and Mr. Schmidt, who, in all fairness, I'll say, he wasn't invited to come up to the bench. I mean, and I wasn't either, so Colby, you shouldn't feel slighted, because if there's anybody that I think should have been at the bench, that should have been me. Now, I filed a motion to recuse Judge Clavins. I just filed that today because I don't really want him deciding my thing when he has the position that he does. He just considers it to be that it's garbage. Wow, I don't want somebody like that looking at my stuff that I've spent a lot of time and effort into putting all together. So, well, let's see. I guess the only thing that I wanted to say is this. Next time, I'm going to be talking about some additional important connections that are here in Maryland. that help explain more than a few things that go on here in Maryland. Now, none of you are going to know which relationships I'm actually talking about, because there's actually too many to choose from. There really just are too many. Wow, you guys give new meaning to the phrase good government job. Wow, I mean, geez. And I really hope that people are watching and paying attention for the polls, for purposes of the polls, because this coming election cycle. My God, because if this is what they think about citizens and individuals, like we're just to be just take our concerns and take our cares and just toss them under, well, garbage. You heard the phrase, garbage. Wow, that's going to sit with me for a while, because I know that there are quite a few garbage collectors out there. So, and we're going to talk about all you next week. So, all right, stay tuned. Same time, same channel, same bat channel. All right, good weekend. Shit.